It was just another late evening. The sky was turning a quiet shade of purple as Monica Jenkins drove through the sleepy streets of Fairview. She was still in her scrubs after another long shift at the hospital. Her hands were tired, her mind full. In the back seat sat her 10-year-old son, Jalen, a quiet, observant boy who rarely said much, but always noticed everything. They were headed home. Nothing unusual, just a mother and son, ready to rest. But life doesn't always let you arrive in peace. Monica didn't even notice the patrol car behind her at first. She had signaled. She had obeyed the speed limit. But then, the lights flashed, blue and red tearing through the calm of dusk. She sighed, pulled over, and looked in the mirror. Her heart pounded, but she stayed calm. She had nothing to hide. The officer walked up, his steps heavy with attitude. He didn't say hello. He didn't explain kindly. He just said she hadn't signaled. Monica, confused, explained gently that she had. She even offered to check the dash cam. But something shifted. His tone changed. "You people never know when to shut up," he snapped. Monica froze. Jalen saw her hands tremble on the wheel. He didn't fully understand, but he felt the fear. The air in the car became thick. Another officer pulled up. He didn't ask questions. He told Monica to step out of the vehicle. She asked why, her voice small. They didn't answer. They pulled open her door, dragged her out, and slammed her onto the hood. In front of her son, Jalen screamed. He cried out for them to stop, but no one listened. And so, this 10-year-old boy did the only thing he could think of. He reached into his backpack, pulled out a small, worn business card he had hidden for months, and made the call his mother never imagined he'd have to make. The phone rang once, twice. Then, someone answered. Mayor Thomas speaking. Jalen clutched the phone tightly, his voice shaking. "Sir, it's Jalen. From the essay contest. My mom's in trouble." And just like that, everything began to shift. You see, months before this night, Jalen had written an essay for a citywide contest. It was about his hero, not a celebrity, not an athlete. His mom. "She's the strongest woman I know," he wrote. "She saves lives. She makes my world feel safe." He won. First place. And when he stepped up to the podium to accept his award, Mayor Thomas shook his hand, looked him in the eyes, and said, "If you ever need help, you call me." He handed him that card. Nobody ever thought he'd use it. But on this night, standing by the side of the road while his mother wept in handcuffs, Jalen needed help. 15 minutes later, an unmarked SUV rolled up. The mayor stepped out, face stern, eyes scanning the scene. At first, the officers didn't recognize him. But then they did, and their whole energy changed. The mayor walked over, asked for badge numbers, asked what reason they had for detaining a woman in scrubs, someone with no record, no threat. They stammered. They scrambled for excuses. Monica was uncuffed. Apologies were muttered. But the mayor wasn't finished. He kneeled beside Jalen, placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder, and said, "You did the right thing. I'm sorry this happened. It shouldn't have. This wasn't swept under the rug." Monica was invited to the mayor's office. The body cam footage was reviewed within 24 hours. It revealed everything. No signal missed. No threat posed. Just aggression, escalation, and humiliation. A city council member leaked the footage. It went viral. But it wasn't just views or headlines. It sparked something real. People saw themselves in Monica. A working black mother treated like a criminal. A child forced to become brave far too soon. Protests followed. Peaceful, powerful. People gathered not in chaos, but in unity, demanding better. The two officers were suspended. One quietly resigned. The other faced formal charges. And then came the next city council meeting. Monica stood at the podium, Jalen beside her. She didn't shout. She didn't rage. She simply told the story. From the moment she was pulled over, to the call her son made, to standing there that very day. And when she finished, she looked at her son and said, "My son saved my life." The room went silent. Weeks later, Monica received a public apology from both the mayor and the police chief. Not behind closed doors. On record. On camera. Before the city. But even more important than the words were the changes that followed. New training programs were launched. An independent citizen review board was formed, and Monica was offered a seat. One Saturday morning, during a city community event, Mayor Thomas pulled Jalen aside again. "You still got my card?" he asked. Jalen nodded. "You won't need it again," the mayor said, smiling gently. "But just in case, keep it." Monica still drives the same car. Still wears her scrubs. still picks Jalen up after school. But now, something's different. Jalen doesn't just carry fear. He carries power. The power of one voice that made the system stop and listen. Because sometimes, one call is all it takes. One small voice. One brave moment. And everything changes. If you were moved by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? Until next time, stay kind, stay strong.